On December 18, 2011, a car was found abandoned in the middle of a residential street in St. Louis County, Missouri. The engine was off. The doors were unlocked. Inside, nothing appeared disturbed. There was no sign of a struggle, no indication of where the driver had gone. The driver was 23-year-old Phoenix Coldon. She has not been seen since. There are cases that refuse to fade, stories suspended in time, lives interrupted, without warning, without explanation. What remains are fragments, a final movement, a final contact, a silence that remains. Phoenix Coldon was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She lived with her parents in Spanish Lake, a suburb just outside of St. Louis. To those who knew her, Phoenix was quiet, disciplined, and structured. She had been raised in a strict household, with clear expectations and routines. She was talented, she played the violin, she had attended college, and she followed a predictable daily pattern. Until she didn't. Phoenix's life appeared stable from the outside. She worked, spent time at home, and stayed closely connected to her family. Her parents described her as responsible and cautious, not impulsive, not reckless. She wasn't known to disappear without explanation. There were no obvious signs of distress, no public conflicts, no warnings that something was about to change. But beneath that structure, there were questions. Questions that would only surface after she was gone. On the afternoon of December 18, 2011, Phoenix left her home driving her black Chevy Blazer. There was nothing unusual about the day. No indication that anything was wrong. At some point, she was seen driving in a nearby neighborhood. Then, suddenly, her vehicle came to a stop. Not in a parking space, not in a driveway, but in the middle of the street. The exact reason remains unknown. When police later located the vehicle, it was still sitting where it had been left. The car was not damaged. There were no signs of forced entry, no blood, no clear evidence of a struggle. Inside the vehicle, her personal belongings were still there. Her purse, her identification, nothing suggested she had planned to leave. And yet, she was gone. No witnesses came forward with a clear account of what happened next. No confirmed sightings, just an empty street and a car that no longer had a driver. When Phoenix didn't return home, her family became concerned. They reported her missing, but the initial response was slow. At first, there was uncertainty about whether she had left voluntarily. As time passed, that possibility became less convincing. Search efforts began. Police examined the vehicle, canvassed the area, looked for witnesses, but no clear trail emerged. No phone activity that explained her disappearance, no financial transactions, no evidence of travel. It was as if she had simply stepped out of her life. As the investigation continued, new details began to surface. Phoenix had been living a more private life than her parents realized. She had a second phone. There were indications she may have been communicating with people unknown to her family. Some reports suggested she may have been preparing to move out. These details introduced new possibilities, but they did not explain what happened on that street. They did not explain why she left her car, or where she went after that moment. Several theories have been considered. One possibility is that Phoenix chose to leave voluntarily, that she walked away from her life and started over. But there are problems with this theory. She left behind her belongings, her identification, her money, her car. There has been no confirmed activity since, no verified sightings, no contact. Another theory suggests foul play, that someone encountered her after she stopped the vehicle, but there is no clear evidence of an abduction, no witnesses, no physical signs, only absence. A third possibility is that she left the car for a reason that has never been discovered, and something happened afterward. But without evidence, this remains speculation. Phoenix Coldon has never been found. Her case remains unsolved. Years have passed, with no confirmed answers. Her family continues to search for information, to ask questions, to hope that someone, somewhere, knows what happened. On a quiet street in Missouri, a car was left behind. No damage, no signs of struggle, no explanation. Just silence. And somewhere within that silence, the truth still remains.